she gives a long sleeved sheep skin coat. Okay, so that is the thing which helps them to keep themselves warm. Earlier only told that if at all there is no snow, then we can go very easily, but now it had started snowing heavily now. It was too very cold, extremely cold you can say, so the nostrils were blocked and he had to take some medication now. Hello everyone, a very warm welcome to all the young minds of class 11 CBSE. I am Dr. Shalini, your English teacher at Prep School. Today we are here to understand one of the lessons from Snapshots, that is the Silk Road. This is a wonderful lesson, children. It's a travelogue actually. Okay, so let us see what is there in today's session. Today we are going to understand about the author first, then we'll understand about the background or the theme of this story. We'll also understand about the characters. At last we will move on to the summary. So why delay? Let us begin the session. We'll understand about the author first. Nick Middleton was an award-winning geographer. He was a writer, a TV presenter, then he was an environmental scientist and also a university lecturer. So many great roles he has played. He was at a very early age, he was very curious about how the planet Earth works. Okay, so how people interact with it, means the people's and the planet's interaction he wanted to understand more. Now he works and communicates on a wide variety of environmental issues and also travel topics for various range of audiences. So he makes videos and he just delivers it to the audience. He is also into too many things. He also teaches at University of Oxford. Nick is the author of 7 travel books. Actually, one of it is a bestseller, that is Going to Extremes. So you need to read about this in order to know about Antarctica. Okay, so hope you get time and you read it to experience the wonderful travelogue by Nick Middleton. Yes, now we'll move on to the theme of the story. This chapter is actually a travelogue. Travelogue is something which tells about the travel experiences of the author. It's a travelogue and about the author's journey along the ancient trade route called the Silk Road. Okay, so this is actually the trade road, that is Silk Road. Okay, so he describes the challenges that he encountered, the hardships which he came across during his journey to Mount Kailash on a pilgrimage. He goes there for a pilgrimage. This is a part of the story which you are reading. So Silk Road is one of the stories in his travelogue. So let us see who are the characters in this story now. The first person is the author. Okay, this is the first character. He is a geography professor in Oxford University and he was also an environmental consultant. Okay, so it is not a story, it is his own experience. So this is something related to the real life only. Okay, so here also he is a geography professor only. So next comes Satan. Okay, so it's Satan, T is silent. He was the owner of the car that was hired by the author for his journey. He was also a tourist guide. Okay, by the name only you can know that he might be a Nepalese or something like that. Okay, so next was this Daniel. Daniel was an interpreter from Lhasa. Lhasa is a place and he traveled for some time with the author. Fine, he also behaves like a tourist guide there. Last one was Norbu. Norbu was a Tibetan who was working in Academy of Beijing. He was wanting to carry out pilgrimage to Mount Kailash. So this author and Norbu, both of them have come for the same intention, with the same intention. Okay, so now we'll start with the summary. Again, this story also is divided into various stages for you to understand better. Now, the opening scene is departure from Ravu. Ravu is also a place. Okay, so the author leaves Ravu with Daniel. Okay, so he was an accompanist who travels with the author, the interpreter and Satan, that is the tourist guide. So all the 3 people, one is the author, one is Satan and Daniel. So 3 people, they start their journey. Okay, that is from Ravu. Before leaving, there was one lady by name Lamo. Okay, so she had given accommodation to this one, the author at Ravu. Okay, so she gives them a gift. So what gift does she give? She gives a long sleeved sheep skin coat. Okay, so that is the thing which helps them to keep themselves warm. So in all these elevated places like the northeastern states and somewhere near Himalayas and all, they use this sheepskin coat. Okay, so that helps them to keep themselves warm. That doesn't allow the temperature of the body to go out. So that's why it keeps them warm. So she gives that to them, and she gave this since they were traveling to Mount Kailash and it will be very cold over there. The weather would be very cold over there. She gave them this long sleeved sheepskin coat. Okay, so here Chetan knew a shortcut actually to reach the mountain. Okay, so he was a person who had helped many people to to go on this journey. So he knew a shortcut wherein they could reach the mountain. But if there was no snow, in that way, if there was no snow, then the journey would be smooth, he says. Okay, so even he doesn't know whether there is no snow or not. But he says, I know a shortcut. If at all there is no snow, we can go there. Now, these people decide to take that way only because they wanted to try out some adventure. So now they take that route only. So they passed through the hills there. Okay, so they passed through the hills. They saw some Drokbas, the nomad shepherds. So this is the name given to the nomad shepherds there. Okay, this sheep rearing is actually a very important occupation over there because they make these sheepskin coats. Okay, that is because they want to protect themselves from this environment. Okay, so here look at that the shepherds also, they were looking at their flocks. Okay, the flock of sheep, the collective noun. Okay, so they were looking after their flocks there. They would stop and stare at their car. They were going by car and they would just stop and look at their car. They would just stare there. Sometimes they also waved them as they passed. So he's describing the journey, the path over there. Okay, so what and all happened on the road, he describes that. So as they were moving in the car, the people over there, they just waved there, thinking some tourists must have come and all. So they were doing that. So that was the Drok Pass. Okay. So they would stop and stare, as I said. Then they passed the nomads' tents. So these nomads were there. So their tents also they passed. Okay. So there they had few Tibetan Mastiff. Tibetan Mastiff is it's a breed of dog. Okay, which they used to protect their flock of sheep. Okay, so these Tibetan Mastiffs also were there. They were barking at these strangers at the car there. A car is something which is not very common over there. Fine. So that's the reason even the nomads, they stopped and waved at them. Even the Tibetan Mastiffs also were barking. There is a small history given about this Tibetan Mastiff. In earlier days, these Tibetan Mastiffs were actually popular in Chinese rule there. Okay, China's imperial courts as hunting dogs. Okay, these were considered as the hunting dogs. Fine, like now we have Doberman, Pitbull and all. So these were considered as the hunting dogs in the earlier days. So they were brought along the Silk Road. So this was the route from which the Tibetan Mastiffs were brought inside, and as the tax payment from Tibet. So Tibet was supposed to pay tax to India. So that time they brought this Tibetan Mastiffs as a form of tax. Okay, Tibetan Mastiff itself was considered as tax and it was sent to India, and those were imported through this Silk Road. Turns which the way they were traveling. Okay, so the shortcut which they took on the hills, right? So the turns and all, they started getting sharper, something like a hairpin bend curve. So that type they became very sharper, and it was actually very difficult now to travel. So the author started getting severe headache because it was too very cold. Okay, the blood circulation and all, it had reduced because of the chilled weather. So author started getting headache. Okay, just then after that it started snowing very heavily. Okay, earlier only told that if at all there is no snow, then we can go very easily. But now it had started snowing heavily now. The way which they were traveling, actually it was not visible probably. Okay, so Daniel and this author, no, they get out of the car. They just get out of the car to check the way. Okay, the watch which shows the altitude. Okay, so the altimeter watch of this authors which he was wearing, it indicated the altitude of 5,210 meters above the sea level. So this was the elevation they were there. Okay, that was the altitude they were actually traveling in. Okay, 5,210 meters they were above the sea level, and at the height of 5,515 meters, this atmospheric pressure, no, it became very low. Okay, he already has a headache because of blood circulation issues. Now here already atmospheric pressure is very low. Okay, oxygen content has started reducing, so the pressure is very low. Now what does Seton do? He opens the lid of the petrol tank in order to release the evaporated fuel. Okay, fuel would have been evaporated, the flow would not have been normal. Now he has opened the petrol tank, that is the cover, in order to just let go the evaporated fuel out. Okay, so this is a common problem in the vehicles that will travel over there. So now there were already ice blocks on the way. It had started snowing heavily. Now what do they do? By late afternoon, they had reached a small town. Okay, though there were hills and all, there are small towns that are there. Fine. So they had reached a small town. Okay, so what is it? Of Hor. This is the name of the town which they had reached on the shore of Lake Manasarovar. Okay, so this is between Lhasa and Kashmir. So this place, that is Hor, is between Lhasa and Kashmir, that is on the shore of Manasarovar. Okay, so Daniel returns to Lhasa from there. It is very near. Lhasa is very near from there. So now Daniel has a very brief journey with the author and he leaves from that place there. Seton's car has got a flat tire. Okay, so that now he gets it repaired also. From in that town only, there was a person who could correct the puncture there, and he just got it repaired. Now there was no vegetation at all in Hor, almost no only you can say. Okay, there was not even one plant that was seen in Hor. Okay, so there was no vegetation at all. Now by 10:30 p.m. they reached Dachin. Okay, so that was a place where there was a guest house and they could stay there that night. Okay, so by 10:30 p.m. they reach over there. Now author had headache. He had got out of the car also. That sheepskin coat was keeping him warm only on his body, but the head part and all, he had not covered it very well. So now his nostrils were actually blocked. Okay, nostrils and all were blocked and was not able to breathe properly. Only it was too very cold, extremely cold you can say. So the nostrils were blocked and he had to take some medication. Now he was just entering critical stage. Okay, so that time Seton took the author to Darchin Medical College. So there he takes him to a medical college. There was a doctor who treated this author. So doctor said it is just altitude problem and he gives him some medicine. So since you are in a high altitude, you are not used to that kind of altitude, this is the problem, and he gives him some medicine also. So what does Seton do? Now he is worried about the business. Okay, he just is worried about the business. He leaves the author in Dachin only. He tells the author that he is leaving from there. He leaves the author in Dachin only. He left for Lhasa with the car. He is least bothered about what the author is going to do. So he was not at all bothered, but the only thing he was bothered was business that he is going to lose. Okay, so he was least bothered about the author. He just leaves that place. Okay, so here there is a mention that he was a good Buddhist. Okay, he was a good Buddhist. So he brought him to the doctor and he leaves him there and he just goes from the place. He was more worried about his business. Seton was actually worried about the business. That is how the world works, isn't it? You are worried about your own things, be it a very small thing that is bothering you or be it a big matter. People will not be empathetic nowadays. Okay, so he just leaves this author here and he leaves from that place. Author is now looking for a companion who can come with him and complete the journey. So Dachin was also very dusty, like Hor only. It was very dusty and rubbish was found all around. See here, the author's the environmental concern is getting awakened here. Okay, so he is on his journey. He is observing the other situations also. Okay, so he is observing that rubbish was there, then everywhere it is found and all. So and also this was less populated. Okay, rubbish was found everywhere, but it was less populated. Okay, there were no pilgrims also. This was not the time wherein the pilgrims used to visit. That was not a peak time which the pilgrims used to visit there. Okay, so here he saw that rubbish was everywhere. He saw that the place was not at all clean. Okay, so he wanted to reach Mount Kailash to do Kora. Okay, so that was just a ritual. Now he did not want to go alone and he was looking for someone who could speak and understand English. So he was just going to have some tea or something. So that time he was just looking for somebody who can understand and speak English. Okay, so language was actually a barrier till now. Okay, now he was looking for somebody who could come with him, who could understand English. Okay, so he was sitting at a cafe That time Norbu comes. Norbu, he was a plump Tibetan. Okay, he was working in Beijing at Chinese Academy. So he was working in this place. He was at the Academy of Social Sciences. He was a teacher over there. When he was reading a book over there, he was the author was sitting and reading a book over there. So he was reading an English book. So that time Norbu comes and he introduces himself to the author. Okay, he was not a very religious person. Norbu was not at all a very religious person, but he was there to perform some Kora. So that was a ritual. Okay, so they both decided to go together to the Mount Kailash. Okay, so they decide to complete the journey together. Okay, finally the author finds a companion to complete the journey. So this was the summary of Silk Road. Title is Silk Road, but they experience a lot of hardships over there. So what I suggest you is, please go through the video, read the lesson. You will be able to understand it better. You will be able to understand the minute details that the author wants to tell the readers. Okay. So I would want you to come prepared for the class so that we can discuss the question answers that are there after the text. Okay. So take care, keep learning. Thank you for your time. Let us meet in the next session very shortly. Bye-bye. Have a wonderful day.